I think I know why Joe Biden is agreeing, though. There's an article in the New Republic, and it says the Democrats have a Joe Biden problem. When you look, the polls rightly calls Pentagon Democrats, but it also shows that the election is not a lost cause for the party, talking about the other candidates. While the numbers for Biden specifically are terrible, other Democrats are performing quite well, and they cite Nevada, which the candidate is up by 12. They cite Arizona, and they cite Pennsylvania. So essentially, there's a call behind the scenes for the Democrats to move away from Biden, and they don't mean pick a different candidate, but to focus down ballot and not Joe Biden. That's why he needed this debate to happen.
Well, in order to qualify for a debate, you have to be on enough state ballots to win an electoral college majority, and you have to score 15% in at least 4 major national polls. RFK Jr. says he's going to meet the criteria for at least one of them before the June 20th deadline. So we'll see about that. Nancy Pelosi was asked if she thought that Joe Biden should have agreed to a debate. Listen.
I myself would never recommend going on a stage with Donald Trump, but the president has decided that's what he wants to do. I think the format he is suggesting is a good one. I think you all should have separate town hall meetings with them, let them challenge them with questions about the future, and let the public make its decision.
And the public is going to get the opportunity to see them, you know, presidential candidates, even before either of them are nominated by their party. It's going to be the earliest ever, and you got to want. You know, I heard Byron New York say yesterday, with early voting, you need early debates, and he's absolutely right. But what is the plus for Joe Biden? Well, if he stumbles, there's plenty of time behind it. And apparently what the Biden camp thinks they can do is, by announcing this so early and having them so early, they can jolt the American public that is not paying attention to the race. Hey, these are the two guys. You got to pick between these two guys. Okay, look at these two guys. Which do you like? And the Biden camp thinks that will force people to say, okay, I don't like Joe Biden, but I'm going to go for him.
Yeah, they think they want to remind the American public of the Trump years, and the Biden people think that's a great thing. They said because Trump is chaos. I say this: for 2.5 years, you told me he was illegitimate. You put a nonstop Russia investigation on every time they had success, some Russia allegation popped up. Can you imagine if they just leveled the playing field and just called him on his policies instead of trying to prove he was illegitimate? They asked people at Fox, do you think the debates are important? 41% said extremely important. 23% said very important. And I'll add one more thing to the fray. As I brought up, the problem I have with this format are the moderators. They despise Trump.
Partisans.
They're nonstop partisans. It doesn't mean they're not bright. It doesn't mean they're not good at their job. But they have a bias against one candidate. They should be eliminated. Is there anyone there non-biased? And number two is you can't kill their mics. I don't want to see two guys speaking. We get that all the time. We need, the whole point of this is the interaction.
Right.
And if you're going to, then it's going to put all the pressure on the moderators. So you'll have Donald Trump will say, I had the best economy ever. Well, not according to the numbers. Next question. You know, those throwaway lines at the end that moderators always do when they don't like what.
And to that point, Brian, I also would just like to see the questions asked. Just ask the questions. The getting involved in the debate process, I think, is going to leave a bad taste in the American public. And I think that's how they put their thumb on the scale when they start getting involved. Let the candidates duke it out. I think also a positive for Donald Trump is that there's not going to be a crowd there. He's an entertainer, so he plays to the crowd. Yeah. He likes to cheer, and this is what he's done his whole life. Not having people there, I think, will calm him down.
Which a lot of critics have been critical of Joe Biden for that reason, because they're saying Donald Trump feeds off the crowd. Yep. Joe Biden didn't want a crowd. And Donald Trump, I agree, it's television. You want it to be entertaining. And if you can't hear their responses, because if Joe Biden answers a question, Donald Trump might say, liar, or whatever, you know? Like, you want to hear that.
That's
you
in
want
his
it to
personality.
be entertaining.
Well, we just put up the rules, and one of them was they cut the mics only after the time is up. So there's a possibility, you would imagine, that if during Joe Biden's time, Donald Trump interrupts him, you would think that that would be played. It's just after, okay, everybody's got 1 minute. I feel sorry for the audio guy. He's got to, not only does he have to figure out which volume control, but then he's got to have a stopwatch. Time's up, boom. Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Also, Donald Trump, I think, it's to his advantage to let Joe Biden talk.
Yeah, just let him go.
Because he talks in circles.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.